Sometimes in life you hear a story and you find yourself thinking, this would make an incredible movie. Today I want to talk about one such of those stories I heard recently, involving a man named Robert Smalls, who stole a steamer ship. Robert Smalls was born into slavery in South Carolina in 1839, and when he was 12 he was sent to Charleston, and he worked as a longshoreman, rigger and sailmaker, and eventually found himself as a wheelman, the slave equivalent of a helmsman, the person who steers a ship, in Charleston Harbour. He eventually married at the age of 17 to a fellow slave, Hannah Jones, and was saving up money to purchase his and his family's freedom. However, he found himself in the prime location at the start of the American Civil War. Several southern states seceded in 1860, including South Carolina, and in April 1861, the Civil War officially broke out with the Battle of Fort Sumter, which took place in Charleston Harbour. Smalls, by accident or coincidence, was right at the centre of it all. It wasn't until the year after, May 1862, that Smalls would carry out an act that made him famous. The ship that Smalls was assigned to at the time, the Planter, was docked in the wharf in the harbour on May 12th, and the white officers on the ship had disembarked for the evening. Smalls had arranged for the ship's crew, the families of the crew, to come on board. The plan had begun. At 3 a.m. on May the 13th, Smalls donned the captain's uniform and alongside his fellow enslaved crewmen began their daring escape, guiding the ship past 5 different checkpoints. Indeed, the plan was so successful that the alarm was only raised by the fort once the ship was fortunately beyond the range of the guns, and that was only because the ship had turned towards the Union fleet beyond the harbour. That was what gave them away. The Confederate flags were replaced with white flags, and once the Planter was among the Union fleet, Smalls surrendered both the ship and its cargo to the United States Navy. And that's the story of Smalls' daring escape, rescuing not just himself and his family, but freeing a number of other slaves as well. And yet, Smalls' story was far from over. He would go on to pilot the Planter and was present at 17 major engagements of the Civil War, including becoming a captain of the Planter. After the war, he went into politics and business, eventually serving in Congress. And in 1913, 2 years before his death, he was instrumental in preventing the mob lynching of 2 black men suspected of murder. And that is the story of Robert Smalls. And I just think, it's there is a movie, and apparently there are plans to make a movie in the works at the moment. But Georgia, hope you all have an amazing day. Check out reviews on screen here and here. Subscribe down below, and I'll talk to you all next time.